Hello students. So I hope your NEET paper went as planned. It was good. Whatever you prepared for was actually there in the paper. This time the paper was not as easy last year. There were some tricky questions. There were certain questions where students can get stuck and they can make mistakes. So I hope you properly read the question and then you properly answered accordingly. Okay. So today we will discuss the botany section of NEET UG 2024. So we will be discussing the botany questions. Let's start with the first question. So the first question has said the complex 2 of mitochondria. Complex 2 of mitochondrial electron transport chain is also known as. So you know that in case of mitochondrial electron transport chain, there are 4 complexes which are involved. Complex 1, complex 2, complex 3 and complex 4. Complex 5 is your ATP synthetase. So complex 1 is NADH dehydrogenase. Complex 2 is succinate dehydrogenase. So for answer for this is your succinate dehydrogenase. That is complex 2. Next question. Which one of the following statement refers to reductionist biology? Now again, I know this is not there in any of the chapters. It is in the beginning of the NCERT which is mentioned. So here the answer is physiochemical approach to study and understand living organism is called as reductionist biology. Next. Given below are the 2 statements. First, in RNA world, RNA is considered the first genetic material. So RNA is considered the first genetic material evolved to carry out essential life processes. RNA act as a genetic material, also as a catalyst for some important biochemical reactions in the living system. You know, RNA act as a catalyst in your translation. So being reactive, RNA is unstable. So again, this entire statement is correct. Second, DNA evolved from RNA. Yes, DNA is evolved later on from the RNA. DNA is double-stranded, is being more stable material as compared to your RNA. So DNA is more stable genetic material. It is double-strand being complementary. It resists changes by evolving repair mechanism. Again, that statement is correct. So here, both the statement 1 and statement 2 are correct, right? Next question. Epiphytes such as orchids growing on mango branch. So epiphytes growing on mango branch is an example of commensalism. Now commensalism is what? Where one is benefited, the other is neither benefited nor getting harmed. So epiphyte is where it is benefited and mango branch is the one which is neither getting benefit or nor getting harmed. So epiphyte growing on the mango branch is an example of commensalism. Next question. Read the statement. So from the statement given below, choose the correct options. First, the eukaryotic ribosomes is 80S and prokaryotic ribosome is 70S. This is correct, right? Each ribosome has 2 subunits. Yes, you have a small subunit and you have a large subunit. So again, this is correct. The 2 subunits of 80S is 40 and 60S, while that of 70S is 50 and 30S. This is also correct. So first 3 statements are correct. Next, the 2 subunits of 80S is 60 and 20. This is wrong. It should be 40S. And 70 is 50 and 20. Again, this is wrong. It should be 30. The 2 subunits of 80S are 60S and 30S. Again, this is wrong. And that of 70 is 50 and 30. This is correct. So, but the whole statement is wrong. So, we can see only 3 statements are correct. A, B and C. So, answer for this is A, B and C are your true statements. Next. Which of the following is an example of ex situ? Ex situ means they are not conserved in their natural habitat. Habitats similar to their natural habitat are artificially created and they are taken out from those natural habitat and conserved there. So that is ex situ. Ex situ example is your Zoos and botanical gardens, national parks, wildlife sanctuaries, biosphere reserves, the sacred groves, all these are the example of in situ. Here they're asking about ex situ. So ex situ is zoos, botanical gardens, cryopreservations, in seed banks, pollen banks. This is your ex situ conservation. Next. Given below are two statements. The primary source of energy in an ecosystem is solar energy, which is correct. Sun is the ultimate source of your energy on the ecosystem. The rate of production of organic matter during photosynthesis in an ecosystem is called as NPP, that is net primary productivity. This is wrong. It is called as GPP, gross primary productivity. So statement 1 is correct, but statement 2 is wrong. So statement 1 is correct and statement 2 is incorrect, wrong. Let's move to the next question. Now, assertion reason. First, both wind and water pollinated flowers are not very colorful and they do not produce nectar. That is correct because they don't have to attract insects or any animals for pollination. The flower produce enormous amount of pollen grains in wind and water pollinated flowers. That is correct, but not explaining that why they do not have nectar and they are not colorful. So in this, both A and R is correct, but R is not the correct explanation of assertion. R is not the correct explanation of assertion. Right? Next. Given below are the two statements, statement 1 and 2. Statement 1 says that in floral formula, this sign is used for zygomorphic. This is wrong. It is used for actinomorphic. For zygomorphic, we use either this symbol or we use this symbol, right? So this is wrong. So this stands for zygomorphic in nature, and G with the dash, this symbol is used for inferior ovary. Again wrong. It is used for superior ovary. So next statement. So this statement is wrong. Next statement, in a floral formula, this symbol is used for actinomorphic, which is correct. And this is this symbol, that is G underscore, is used for superior ovary. This is correct. So statement 1 is wrong. Statement 2 is correct. So statement 1 is wrong, incorrect, and statement 2 is correct. Let's move to the next question. Which chromosome in the human genome has the highest number of genes? So we all know that it is chromosome 1. Chromosome 1 is the longest. Okay, so this has the highest number of genes which are present. Next. Which of the following phytohormones promote nutrient mobilization, which helps in delay of senescence? That will be your cytokinin. Now, delay of senescence can occur in case of your gibberellin also, but when we say that it is nutrient mobilization, so nutrient mobilization will be only because of cytokinin. So, answer for this is your cytokinin. Next. Now, given below are the stages in the life cycle of pteridophytes. Now, arrange the following stages in a correct order. Now, prothallus. Prothallus is what? Prothallus is a haploid structure which represent your gametophyte. Which represents your gametophyte. Okay. Meiosis in spore mother cell will be your diploid structure. Spore mother cell is a diploid structure. Now, meiosis in spore mother cell give rise to spores. These spores will develop to form the prothallus. Okay, so first the meiosis will take place, then the spores will be formed, and then the prothallus will be formed. Now, in the prothallus, there will be formation of archegonia and antheridia. Archegonia is the female reproductive structure, and antheridia is your male reproductive structure. Now, antheridia will release the anthrozoids in the water, and this anthrozoids will be then carried to archegonia where the fertilization will take place. So, you can see that first of all meiosis will take place. That will result in the formation of your microspores or the megaspore, basically the spores. After the spores, they will develop to form prothallus. In the prothallus, there will be the development of archegonia or the antheridia. After that, there will be the transfer of anthrozoids that will be happening, and then the fertilization will take place. So, B, A, D, E, C. That will be there. Clear? Next. Which of the following cannot, here the question says cannot fix atmospheric nitrogen. So azotobacter can fix, Annabella, blue-green algae can fix, nostoc, again blue-green algae can fix, oscillatoria, again can fix blue-green algae, volvox will not fix because volvox is a green algae. It does not undergo nitrogen fixation. So answer for this will be your D only. Okay, only volvox will not be fixing. Now this question has little bit of botany and little bit of zoology, so we'll just see through that. Statement 1, transfer RNAs and ribosomal RNA do not interact with mRNA, which is a wrong statement. Now during translation, the small subunit of your RNA molecule binds to the mRNA molecule, that is the initiation of translation. Then the tRNA carrying the initiator amino acid or any of the amino acid which is there will go and bind to the mRNA. So mRNA interacts with tRNA also as well as your RNA also. So again this is a wrong statement because they have given do not interact. Okay. RNA interference takes place in all eukaryotic cell or eukaryotic organism as a method of cellular defense. Again this is a correct statement. So first is incorrect, but second is correct. So which is the answer here? Fourth, right? Next question. Find the correct, find the statement that is not correct regard with the structure of your monocot stem. Okay, they're talking about monocot stem. Hypodermis is parenchymatous, which is wrong because in case of your monocot stem, hypodermis is your sclerenchymatous. It is sclerenchymatous. So this is a wrong statement. Vascular bundle scattered is correct. Vascular bundle conjoined and closed, that is correct. Phloem parenchyma is absent, that is also correct. So which is not correct? The first statement. Hypodermis is sclerenchymatous, not parenchymatous. Right? Now next. The correct sequence of events which takes place in the life cycle of your bryophyte. Okay, again, like last time we saw pteridophytes, this is your bryophyte. Okay, I know these are the questions where you can go wrong if you're not very sure about the steps which is taking place. So these are some tricky questions that was asked in the question. Now if you see that fusion of anthrozoids with the egg, that is your fertilization. Attachment of your gametophyte to the substratum. Now we know that in bryophyte, gametophyte is the dominant stage. Reduction division to produce the haploid spores, that again will take place in the capsule and that is there in the sporophyte. Formation of your sporophyte, release of anthrozoids in the water. Okay, so first what will happen? You will have the attachment of the gametophyte to the substratum. Then we will have the release of your anthrozoids into the water. Then we'll have the fusion of the anthrozoids with the egg. Then after fusion, the fertilization will take place, the sporophyte will be formed. So this will be your formation of your sporophyte, and in the sporophyte, you will have the reduction division to form the spore. So B, E, A, D, C. So correct answer will be this B, E, A, D, C. Next. Now this is the match the following where they are talking about correct answer. So centromere will be involved in cell division. Cilium will be involved in cell movement. Cristae we know is the inner membrane of mitochondria, and cell membrane has the phosphobilipid layer. So we can say A matches with your B. So these two options are wrong. The B matches with third. So this is there. C matches with 1 and your D matches with your 4. So correct answer is your fourth. Next, again match the following. Chlorophyll A is blue-green in color. Chlorophyll B is yellow-green. Xanthophyll is yellow and carotenoids is your yellow to yellow-orange. So again A will be 3. So again these two options get negated. The B will be 1. So this is there. C will be 2 and D will be 4. right? So these are the questions which are directly asked. It's just that you have to match all the colors, and it's a very direct question that has they asked. Next, if the seed of a cereal, so that means we are talking about your monocot. The outer covering of endosperm separates the embryo by a protein-rich layer which is called as alluron layer. So when we talk about cereal, we are talking about your monocots. We talk about your monocots. So in monocots, the scutellum, which is a single cotyledon, is separated from your endosperm by a protein-rich layer which is called as alluron layer. Alluro words relates to protein, so it is alluron layer. Next, again assertion reason. Now, a typical unfertilized angiosperm embryo sac at maturity is 8 nucleated and 7 celled, which is correct. We have 2 polar nuclei, we have 3 antipodals, 2 synergids, 1 egg cell and the central cell. So, you have 7 celled but 8 nucleated. Egg apparatus has 2 polar nuclei. No, they have 2 synergids, not 2 polar nuclei. So, first is correct, but second is wrong. So, first is true, R is false. First is correct and R is false. Next. A specialized membrane structure in prokaryotic cell which helps in cell wall formation, DNA replication and respiration is your mesosomes. Okay, first of all, cristae is there in case of your mitochondria, which is not there in a prokaryotic cell. Endoplasmic reticulum, again it's there in eukaryotic cell, not there in prokaryotic cell. Chromatophores contain pigments. They are not involved in cell wall formation and DNA replication. Hence, the answer for this is your mesosomes. Next. Which of the following are post-transcriptional events in a eukaryotic cell? So, you know that in a eukaryotic cell, when the hnRNA is formed, from hnRNA, when the mRNA is formed, there are 3 post-transcriptional modifications which takes place. Capping, splicing and tailing. Tailing is where at the 3' end, the adenine is added. Okay, in the 5' end, methylated guanosine is added, and the third is your splicing where introns are removed and exons are joined. So first statement, if you see transport of pre-mRNA to cytoplasm prior splicing, that's wrong. After modification only, it will be transported into the cytoplasm. Removal of introns and joining of exon, which is correct. Addition of methyl group at the 5' end of the HNR, that's correct. Addition of adenine residue at the 3' end, that is correct. Base pairing of 2 complementary RNA, which is wrong. So, answer for this is B, C and D. So, option 2, B, C and D. Next. What is the pattern of inheritance of polygenic traits? So, this is your non-Mendelian inheritance pattern. Non-Mendelian. Mendelian is only for monohybrid and dihybrid cross. Non-polygenic inheritance or incomplete dominance, codominance, they are not as such following the, they are the non-Mendelian inheritance pattern that will be seen. Now, which of the following characters represents a kingdom proposed by Whittaker? Arrange the following in increasing order of complexity of the body organization. So, first is multicellular heterotroph with cell wall formation of chitin. This is your fungi. Heterotroph with tissue level or organ level, organ system level of organization. This is your animalia. Prokaryotes with cell wall made up of polysaccharides and amino acid. Prokaryotes only, we know it's Monera. Eukaryotic autotrophs with tissue level of organization. Autotroph means plantae. And eukaryotes with cellular body organization, we know it is Protista. So, we have to arrange them according to the increasing order of complexity. So, first we will have the Monera, then we will have, so Monera, then we will have Protista, then we will have fungi, then we have plantae, and then we have animalia. So first will be C, that is Monera. Second will be Protista is E. Then will be Fungi is A. Then will be your Plantae, which is your D. And then we will have Animalia, which is your B. So C, E, A, B, D, B. That is your second option. Right? Next. Who is known as the father of ecology in India? In India is your Ramdeo Mishra. He is the father of ecology in India. Now, Alfred Hershey and Martha Chase, they were the one who gave DNA as a genetic material. Euchromatin is loosely packed and light stain. Frederick Griffith is your Streptococcus pneumoniae, and heterochromatin is your densely packed and dark stain. So A will be with 4. So this option gets negated. This option gets negated. Then B will be with your 3. So this is there. C will be 1 and D will be your 2. Right? Next. Given below are the two statements. One is labeled as assertion, the other is labeled as a reason. So first, the primary function of Golgi is to package material made by ER, endoplasmic reticulum, and deliver it to intracellular targets and outside the cell, which is correct. Reason: vesicles containing material from the ER or endoplasmic reticulum fuse with the cis phase of Golgi and they are modified and released from the trans phase of Golgi. That is again a correct statement, and it explains also how it packages a material formed in ER and then deliver it to intracellular transport. So correct explanation also. So both are correct and R is the correct explanation of A. Next. Scutellum is the cotyledon of monocot. Non-albuminous seed is your groundnut. Epiblast is your rudimentary cotyledon and perisperm is a persistent nucellus. So again A will be your 2, which again this option gets negated and this option gets negated. B will be your 3, C will be your 4 and D will be your 1. So this means option 1. So let's go to the next question. The gene R and gene Y follow independent assortment. If capital R, capital Y produce round yellow seeds, so this is basically a dihybrid cross, Mendel's dihybrid cross. So capital R, capital Y, yellow seeds and round and yellow seeds, and small r, small y produces wrinkled and green seeds. Okay, what will be the phenotypic ratio of your F2 generation? So this is direct, we know. Phenotypic ratio of the F2 generation for a dihybrid cross will be 9:3:3:1. So if you see, this is your parental generation. F1 generation will be capital R, small r, capital Y, small y, capital R, small r, capital Y, small y. So when we cross the F1 generation, we'll get the F2 generation where the phenotypic ratio will be 9:3:3:1. There will be 9 will be round and yellow, 3 will be round and green, 3 will be yellow and wrinkled, and 1 will be your wrinkled and green. So 9:3:3:1. It's a direct question. Next. Histones are enriched with. Now histone are basic and they are positively charged. So they are enriched with positively charged basic amino acids, which are your lysine and arginine. So answer is lysine and arginine. Next. Which of the following is the unit of productivity of an ecosystem? Now productivity is measured in terms of energy or it is measured in terms of biomass, which is per area, per unit area per year. So again, this here year is not mentioned. Here M is per meter square, area is in the terms of square, not cube. Again here year is not mentioned, so this is your best answer. Kilocalories per meter square per meter square per year. Next. Now with the help of a given pedigree, find out the probability for the birth of a child having no disease and being a carrier, okay, in the F3 generation. So this is a pedigree which is given where they have marked square, not colored is unaffected male, colored is affected male, carrier female, unaffected female and affected female. Okay. Now here there's a little confusion in the question because they have mentioned as carrier female. Now if we go through the rules of pedigree, we know that this symbol which is used to represent a carrier X-linked female. Okay, carrier X-linked female. So if we go with that logic, we will see that this is XC, XC because this is affected. This is XY. Now this is your carrier. So this will be your XCX. This is again XCX. This is XY. This is XY. So here again it will be XCX. This will be XCY. This will be your XX. And this is again XCX. Okay. So when you do the crossing between this, we will have 4 options. We will have XCY. We can have XY. We can have XX. C and XCXC. Okay, so if we go with this logic, we will see that this is the carrier with no disease. So answer for this will be 1/4. Got it? Okay. Now, this is there. Now, if we do not use that symbol which is there in pedigree, this symbol, and we generally use a carrier, then the pedigree will be different. In that case, answer will come to 1/2. Now, the most appropriate answer for this question will be 1/4, that is option 1. But again, we will see, we'll just wait for the official NT answer key to be released, what they have anticipated the question as, taken that question as. So in that, the answer will vary. So right now we can say both 1 and 2 will be the answer. Now if you see that, if we do not use this X-linked carrier logic, and we take it as a autonomous recessive, so we will have XC, sorry, this will be small a, this will be capital A, small a, capital A, small a, this will be capital A and like this, capital A, so this will be capital A, small a, capital A, small a, small a, small a. So this will be your test cross. In this we can see that you will have capital A and small a is to small a, small a in the ratio 1:1. So in that case, the carrier will become 1/2. Okay, but again, more appropriate we still feel is the first answer, that is 1/4, because the symbol is used to represent the X-linked carrier female. Got it? Next. Now given below are the 2 statements, AR assertion and reason. So first we will say the cells of tapetum possess dense cytoplasm and is generally have more than 1 nucleus, which is correct. The presence of more than 1 nucleus in the tapetum increases the efficiency of nourishing the developing microspore mother cell. That is correct, and also the correct explanation. So both A and R are correct, and R is the correct explanation for A. That's why it increases the efficiency and therefore it becomes multinucleated. Now, how many meiotic division and mitotic division needs to occur in the development of a mature female gametophyte from the megaspore mother cell? So we know that megaspore mother cell, MMC, which is diploid, it undergo 1 meiosis to form 4 megaspores. Okay, out of which 3 will degenerate and only 1 functional megaspore will be formed. Now this functional megaspore will undergo three mitotic division to form the female gametophyte, where three antipodal cells will be formed, two polar nuclei will be formed, and an egg apparatus will be formed. That will be formed. Okay, so one meiosis and three mitotic division will be required. So one meiosis and three mitotic division will be required. Next, which of the following is example of zygomorphic? Zygomorphic is P. P is zygomorphic. Petunia, datura and chili, these are actinomorphic. Zygomorphic is the one where a single plane passing through the center can divide the flower into two equal halves. So that is zygomorphic. Now again, first, statement 1, fig fruit is a non-vegetarian fruit as it is enclosed fig wasp in it. Again, this is slightly contradictory or little confusing. Some people believe it is a non-vegetarian fruit because the wasp is present in it. Some believe it's a vegetarian. So again, for this statement specifically, we would have to wait for the NTA official answer key, that what they have considered, because there is no text relevant to this in NCERT, the reference book. So therefore, we will consider right now it could be either it is correct or it is incorrect. Now, if you see, fig wasp and fig tree exhibit mutual relationship, as fig wasp complete its life cycle in fig fruit and fig fruit gets pollinated. Now, we know that fruit is not getting pollinated, it is the inflorescence which is getting pollinated. So, this statement is wrong. Okay. So, for the answer, for this, the answer could be either both statements are incorrect, or it could be first correct and second incorrect. So again, we have to wait for the official answer to be released, because there is no relevant text which is there from which can confirm the first statement. Next, what is the main function of spindle fibers? Now we know that spindle fibers are used to separate the chromosomes. So when the chromosomes are there, the spindle fibers attach to the chromosomes and they help the chromosomes to get separated. The sister chromatids are separated and they move towards the opposite pole. So, function of spindle fibers is to separate the chromosomes. It is not to synthesize the new DNA or repair the damaged DNA or to regulate the cell growth. So, answer for this will be to separate the chromosomes. Which of the following is a characteristic feature of gymnosperms? Now we know that gymnosperms are the one which have naked seeds, means they have ovule, they have integumented megasporangium present in it, but they do not have ovary. Fruit formation does not take place. So seeds are enclosed in fruit, that is there in angiosperm. Seeds are absent, again seeds are there but fruit is not there. Gymnosperms have flowers, no they do not have flowers. So answer for this is seeds are naked, they produce naked seeds. Next, pteridophyte, bryophyte, angiosperm and gymnosperm. So we have to just match with the examples. So bryophyte we know is polytrichum, which is your the moss. So B will be your 3. Gymnosperm is ginkgo, that will be D will be your 2. So this answer, pteridophyte will be salvinia and your angiosperm will be your salvia. So answer for this is your second option. Next, who proposed that genetic code for amino acid is made up of 3 nucleotides? That is George Gamow. He was the one who proposed that the genetic coding the amino acid is made up of 3 nucleotides. Next, evil quadruped. Now, evil quadruped is the cause of biodiversity loss. So, 4 are there: habitat loss and fragmentation, over-exploitation, co-extinction, as well as alien species invasion. So, 4 reasons are there which cause the biodiversity loss. Ex situ conservation we know is cryopreservation. Dodo is extinct. It was there in Mauritius, it got extinct. And Lantana chimera is your alien species invasion. So, A will be your 3rd, B will be your 1. So, this option. C will be your 2 and D will be your 4. Let's move on to the next question. Now, in bryophytes, the gemma which are present in the gemma cup, these are responsible for which of the following? They are responsible for asexual reproduction. Now, gemma cups are multicellular green small buds which are present in gemma cup, which is responsible for your asexual reproduction. So, we know we can see that in case of your Markensia. Now, given below are the again two statements, we have to select the correct one. So, statement 1, in ecosystem there is unidirectional flow of energy of sun from producers to consumers, that is correct. Ecosystem are exempted is wrong. They are not exempted from the second law of thermodynamics. So, first statement is correct, second statement is incorrect. First is correct, second is incorrect. Next. Which of the following statement about Rubisco? Now, Rubisco is an enzyme which is used for carbon dioxide fixation in your Calvin cycle, right? So, it is used to catalyze the carboxylation of RUBP. RUBP will combine with carbon dioxide. RUBP will combine with carbon dioxide to form two molecules of PGA. This occurs in the first step of your Calvin cycle. Now, this first step of a Calvin cycle is called as carboxylation. And for this carboxylation step, we require the enzyme which is called as Rubisco. So, Rubisco helps in carboxylation of your RUBP, right? Next. Read the following statements on plant growth and development. So, parthenocarpy can be induced by auxin, which is correct. Plant growth regulator can be involved in promotion as well as inhibition of growth, which is correct. De-differentiation is a prerequisite for redifferentiation. Yes, first you have differentiation, then you have de-differentiation, and then you will have your redifferentiation. So, first de-differentiation has to occur, then only the redifferentiation can take place. Abscisic acid is a plant growth promoter. No, it inhibits the growth. Apical dominance promotes the growth of lateral buds. No, it inhibits the growth of lateral buds. It promotes the growth of your apical bud. So, answer will be A, B, C. Next. Which factor is important for the termination of transcription? That is your rho factor. The sigma factor is involved in the initiation of transcription, whereas the rho factor is the one which is involved in your termination of the transcription. So, answer for this will be your rho factor. Now, which of the following equation represents the Verhelst Pearl logistic growth of population? So, we know dN by dt is equal to Rn K minus n upon k, or we can say 1 minus n by k. So, answer will be dN by dt is equal to Rn K minus n by k, where k is your carrying capacity, and the growth, the rate which is there, that is represented by Rn K minus n by k. So, answer will be your second. So, this was the botany paper that came in NEET 2025. There were few questions which were little tricky, where kids can make mistake. So, overall the paper was doable, means you can still do a lot of questions. I hope you did your best and you are getting the maximum marks possible. So, all the very best for the results of NEET 2025, and I hope you had I hope that you gave your best shot and the results come to your favor. Thank you.